Tepyung TV, August 3rd, 2017. On today's episode of Casey Kim's direct hit on current affairs, The Viper's Eyes, Kissinger is looking at Korea, a message from Reverend Sihwan Kim. Henry Kissinger told Donald Trump that he should withdraw American troops from Korea after the collapse of Kim Jong-un to ease friction with China. Was this Kissinger's advice, or was it a threat? What does it mean for Korea? Who is this Kissinger character, and why does it appear as if he has a role in influencing President Trump and the fate of Kim Jong-un, Xi Jinping, and the Republic of Korea? Why is he doing this? Kissinger, born in 1923, currently 94 years old. U.S. Secretary of State under Presidents Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford. Strategy Director of the Globalists. Opposed Trump through Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, and was the power behind the candlelight forces that unconstitutionally removed President Park Geun-hye, the hidden support behind the unconstitutional Moon Jae-in government. The withdrawal of American troops from Korea after the collapse of Kim Jong-un to ease friction with China ultimately means hand over jurisdiction of the two Koreas to China in exchange for the removal of Kim Jong-un. What does this mean? The political situation of Pyongyang is such that it is already leaning toward the elimination of Kim Jong-un regardless of Kissinger's intentions. This means Trump's military maneuvers are working. Kissinger is trying to sway Trump by trickery before Kissinger loses his ability to control Pyongyang. In other words, before a U.S. military attack or before an uprising from within Pyongyang. Kissinger acts as if he is managing Kim Jong-un, but he has an ulterior motive to obtain control over the Korean peninsula. Instead of being deceived, Trump should work towards the unification of the Korean peninsula under a liberal democracy. What is the real goal of withdrawing U.S. troops? Kissinger, who tamed China like a hunting dog, is scheming to take control of Northeast Asia. There is evidence of a secret promise made between Kissinger and Xi Jinping during a private conversation in Beijing in March 2015. Xi Jinping and Shinzo Abe's handshake and Xi Jinping and Obama's handshake are evidence that a deal was reached in the private conversation with Kissinger. Consequently, Kim Jong-un is intensifying provocations against the South. Park Geun-hye's administration walked a lonely road in actively defending against war by strengthening South Korea's national defense. Behind the scenes, Kissinger controlled the candlelight forces to stop President Park Geun-hye from interfering with his dark ambitions. If this is so, isn't Kissinger himself the reason for the specter of war in Northeast Asia? Yes, of course. The goal of the past 25 years of his work in Northeast Asia on behalf of the Illuminati was to control Northeast Asia using fear tactics. His remarks at the end of 2011 regarding the specter of war in Northeast Asia were an act of aggression aimed at China. Immediately thereafter, tensions between China and Japan and between the U.S. and China increased. The clamor surrounding the deployment of THAAD in South Korea got louder, and Kim Jong-un's provocations intensified. Taking advantage of the uneasiness of Xi Jinping, who had made enemies of all, Kissinger employed the strategy of inducing a compromise with Obama. As compensation for this public reconciliation, Xi Jinping received an understanding regarding the Korean peninsula. This was the result of the March 2015 conversation with Kissinger. At this stage, Kim Jong-un's nuclear threat against South Korea seems like an act of resistance against the U.S., but in reality, shouldn't it be understood as an act of secret cooperation with Kissinger's policy regarding the Korean peninsula? The increased frequency of Kim Jong-un's nuclear provocations following the clamor surrounding THAAD is not a symbol of friction, but of political and military harmony. He shook hands with the U.S. and Japan in the course of China's disregard for the Park administration and its increased pressure on South Korea over THAAD, indicating cooperation with Kissinger. The development of military and economic paths beneficial to China by the political forces that illegally removed South Korea's Park Geun-hye also indicates cooperation with Kissinger. Park Geun-hye's policy of actively defending war with North Korea was a lonely resistance effort against Kissinger. Therefore, the connection between Kissinger and the usurpation of Korea's sovereignty through the removal of Park Geun-hye, which occurred immediately after her efforts to resist, cannot be denied. At the same time, Pyongyang's rapid development of nuclear technology and securing of economic power raised suspicions of whether they came from a cohesive relationship with the Kissinger group. Why does Kissinger want to feed Korea to his hunting dog, China? His posture is that of deciding the Korean people's right to life and death, the gaze of the viper. Kissinger has already made a secret deal concerning Korea. In the eyes of Kissinger, Korea and its people will be the items dealt in the secret deal between himself and China. From the position of protecting its right to live, Korea should call for judgment on Kissinger's policy. From its position as a sacrificial lamb, what posture and strategy can Korea adopt to defend its right to live? It is proper to fully reveal Kissinger's true colors to the Trump administration. As a matter of international justice, Korea should take decisive action to bring Kissinger to trial or a hearing regarding its right to live. The Trump administration must make known to the world Kissinger and Obama's international political crimes against Korea. We must testify that Obama's crime regarding the impeachment scandal in the Republic of Korea was an extension of Kissinger's dominance in Northeast Asia. Korea's claim to its right to live should include a declaration that it is an issue of peace in Northeast Asia and the charter for the peaceful coexistence of humanity throughout the world. Are Kissinger and Obama part of the Illuminati? If so, weren't they behind the candlelight vigils? Aren't they behind Hong Seok-hyun, Park Ji-won, and Moon Jae-in, who are subject to national prosecution? Yes. Kissinger and Obama are key figures of the Illuminati, and they were behind the candlelight vigils. They are the figures behind Hong Seok-hyun, Park Ji-won, and Moon Jae-in. The reasons why Kissinger, Obama, and the Illuminati were the driving force for the candlelight vigils in the Republic of Korea, and why they are the supporting figures behind Hong Seok-hyun, Park Ji-won, and Moon Jae-in will be dealt with in detail in the next episode. The power to protect Korea is with the Taegukgi Army. This was Tepyung TV, Casey Kim's direct hit on current affairs.